first impressions, impressive impressions, I guess, of Antonio Jordan? Because we've heard Sam single him out. I mean, does he look like a freshman receiver to you when he stepped in the building?
No, I mean the kid looks like he's about 22. So no, he doesn't. He's a tall kid, obviously. But one thing that I would say is him as a kid or a guy, when he came in, he knew how to work. That's the first thing that stood out to me. He knew how to work. A lot of guys that we get, they don't know how to work. You know what I mean? Because one thing we're built on is hard work and toughness. Like that's who we got to be. Now, are his numbers where they need to be? No, but he's a freshman. He's 18 years old. But he's tough. He works. Don't say nothing. Just shows up every day and just works. And so, to me, that's the biggest thing that stood out. But I may be wrong and might have to eat my words, but I think by game 4 or 5, you're going to see a huge difference from camp until game 4, game 5. I think he's really going to escalate.
You mentioned Rohan Jones already and that added weight. Was that something you guys always envisioned? Like he had that easy projection? Was it a lot of work to add that weight? And how important was that moving into a tight end now in the SEC where he's going to have to block more and be a little, do some different things, be heavier, stronger like that?
Yeah. Well, Coach was very, very adamant that we get bigger up front, and we look bigger. And so part of that in the box play is your tight ends. Rohan can run, He can actually run faster, I think, than maybe the info y'all got. But I think once he went through spring, he's like, oh, crap. This ain't Montana State, which is a really good program. So I'm not saying – but it's just different, right? You got bigger bodies, faster dudes coming off the edge. You got to be able to chip. And so I think we just made it an emphasis as a staff to get big, and then we play around with guys during training camp because is he too big, is he too small, you know what I mean, and kind of adjust. And he's probably one of those guys that we're doing that with because we want him to be fast because he is a difference maker, but he's also going to be sturdy on the ends with the other guys.
Also said a mile per hour number doesn't tell the whole story.
I know you did. I'm just giving you a hard time.
And
I appreciate what you do.
Yeah, thanks. I was wondering, who are the decathlete? I know you probably say Larry Worth and Mike Washington be guys that are just good in everything. But I was wondering, for a younger guy that's coming up, who's really just a beast in every category, speed and strength.
Yeah, I'll tell you, C.J. Brown's had a really good summer. Really, really impressed with CJ. I mean, he's hit 22 5 or 6 times this summer, and we've had 8 sessions, or 8 weeks, I should say. So very, very consistent. Put on weight. He's up 10 pounds. He's a guy that stands out, as you said, from a skill guy. Julian Neal really, really stood out to me. He's an older guy, but, I mean, you just look. I mean, I don't know his numbers quite. I mean, I do, but you look at him, and he's a DB. He's 208. Power cleans 315, benches 315, squatted 500, 38.5-inch vertical, 11.3 broad. So I mean, runs 21. I mean, he told me the last week this is the best he's felt, and this is the highest he's been able to perform that. Not saying that. I'm saying that because it's a fifth-year guy. You come in, you put the work in, and you'll reap your rewards. So from a skill standpoint, if you tell me that, Rodney Hill's had a really good summer too. He ran 21.9 something, almost 22. He only hit 21 once or twice last summer, and so he's up in weight too. So really excited about him. But those are a couple guys that I would say, right off the rip that are more skill, smaller guys per se that has really done well.
I know with Mike, COVID kind of interrupted his recruitment and stuff, but I mentioned Larry and Mike, and both those guys have outstanding numbers. How did a guy like that, Larry's 6'4", 225, and Mike's numbers speak for themselves, but how do guys like that kind of slip through the cracks a little bit to where they end up at smaller schools? when they clearly have SEC attributes?
Yeah, that's a great question. Number one, it could be the area they're from. You know what I mean? What level of ball do you play? You know, because competition against good competition is really your evaluation, right? Some of that is he's a big back. Well, we're not a big back system. You know, some schools don't believe in 220, 230-pound back. We want 205. A guy like Larry, it's, you know, a lot of places too, when Larry was coming out, it's a lot of people liked him, but it's like, well, where do we play him? You know, and sometimes that can, well, what is he? I don't know, but dude jumps 11.4, runs 21, he's 225, jump 40. I mean, I'm going to find a spot for him, right? And so, and that's kind of what we've done here. And so I think sometimes they just slip through because of those type of things.
Braylon Russell looked like he lost a little weight over the spring. Looks like he slimmed down. Still looks like he's in great shape. But considering his running style and the fact it's a very punishing running style, any concern loss of weight could take a little bit more toll on his body?
No. Actually, I'm more eager to see him, to be honest. I think he's a guy that needs to stay around the 245. He is a big back. But the best ability is availability, right? And being able to repeat it over and over and over and over. I'm not sure if y'all remember, but the Mississippi State game, he kind of strained his hamstring, right? Well, that's the fastest he had ever ran since he had been here, the fastest. And so the point of emphasis in the spring and the summer is we have to repeat your speeds over and over and over. So when you do get that breakout run, you don't have the tissue and the strain on the hamstring like that. But you can't just coast, and then when it's time to go. It's not how this league works. But his body fat's dropped. I mean, like I said, y'all are going to see him tomorrow. How many of y'all coming to 6 a.m. practice? Should be all y'all. But you'll see. I mean, he does. He looks good. He's in a lot better shape than what he was last year. A lot of that's maturity, right? I'm a year in the program. But really excited about that room, excited for him. He's a powerful back. Same thing. You look at his number, his power has gone up. So last year we had 15 guys, broad jump 10 or more. We had 31 this year. So we've even doubled that. And so put a really emphasis on power. So going back to him, it's right up his avenue, you know, and really like our team, and I think we're going to be a lot better up front too.